Virgo, welcome to your tarot reading for the entire year of 2023. It's coming to you from the mountains of Java. And Virgo, I hope you find this useful. I really hope that you get something from this reading. Virgo, I have to keep reminding myself that these are spreads for an entire year, because there is stuff in your spread that I find disturbing, but then there's high points as well, so I'm not sure at this moment. If you look at that central card, that's the Five of Swords. That's the card of winning at all costs. Now, I don't know if that's you or somebody doing it to you. Looking at the initial spread, it could be either, to be perfectly honest with you. If you look at the bottom right, the Knight of Cups, very loving knight, very lovable person, but someone that wears his heart on his sleeve, perhaps does get taken advantage of, which maybe that's suggesting that Five of Swords, it's you that's somebody is trying to win at all costs against you, taking advantage of your good nature. You do mature from the Knight to the King of Cups, which is right now, and the King is much more emotionally stable than the Knight, much more in control of his emotions. In the future we have the Justice card. Now that could be actual justice, it could be a court case, or it could simply be karmic justice. Almost certainly it's related to this Five of Swords, isn't it? So let us hope that the Five of Swords is in your face. Sorry, it's not you that who are the Five of Swords. I mean, even if it is, justice will be firm and fair. You've nothing to worry about. And the energy impacting on the outcome is the Devil card, an unhealthy attachment or addiction. I mean, what's sort of come to me is maybe you get in a relationship with a narcissist. You know, I'm probably taking this too far at this moment, but it's just come to me. What would change the outcome is the Hierophant card. I think that this really is you embracing formal religion. We've been getting it a lot throughout 2023, and I've said it doesn't necessarily mean religion, but I think it probably does here. And the outcome is the Nine of Cups. You've got many blessings, but you're by yourself. Now, I'm going to have to look in these in much more detail because I've come out with an explanation that could be completely wrong. But I hope you'll stick around to see if it is true or not, and if you can hit the like button and make a comment, and maybe also if you could subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for future notifications, because it helps me greatly. And Virgo, I'd like to thank you so much in anticipation, so thank you, Virgo.
You may well be asking, why from Java? What's important about tarot from Java? And the truth is, there is nothing so important about tarot from Java. Simply that here in Java, we have many different spirits who will come to help in your tarot reading. It'll probably put a different reflection on things. For example, the spirits here are less likely to be concerned about love and finances, despite people in Java being every bit as interested in these things as the rest of us. But maybe the spirits are trying to tell us something else.
Now I'll be using probably 2 decks, but out of 3 decks. So the first deck is Tarot Nusantara, the second deck is the Steampunk deck, and the third deck
is the Light Visions Tarot. Tarot Nusantara is actually a new one to me, which I love, whereas the Light Visions I've struggled with as a result of the rendering. Although I think I'll grow into it, I will keep using it and coming back to it. You can see on all of them I'm using quite a lot of salt, and that's to clear the energy and the spirits from them, something that I do fairly regularly with my tarot. And I also, you'll see a number of Jimat there that I use just to bring a good energy to the tarot and to my reading. Perhaps the most important mystical object we use in Java is the kris, the curly knife that you can see that I've placed across both decks. Kris are very important for bringing the spirits to work on any object here in Java.
Spirits of the Mountain, help me in shuffling the cards, in selecting the cards and interpret them correctly for Virgo for the year of 2023. Now, as I say, the energy running throughout this entire reading, and I have to bear this in mind as I interpret the other cards, is this Five of Swords. And it's a winning at all costs type of energy. Now, as I say, we don't know if this is you or if it's somebody else, but I've got the feeling that it's somebody else. And you look at the rendering, and I think it's particularly telling, you know, they've clearly had a fight. I think they're holding their bums, aren't they? They've been hitting on the backside with the swords. They've dropped their swords and he's taking their swords. But there's something rather playground about it, isn't there? They're sort of saying, oh, well, if you're going to be like that, we're not going to play with you anymore. Yeah, I think it's quite an immature sort of energy. And that's from the person who's trying to win at all costs, not from you. Well, if we've got it right. And so if I am right that it's you that's the victim of this winning at all costs, I think to a certain degree you can somewhat see through it. You know, you might be engrossed in the battle when it's going on, but when it's over you just think, what was that about, eh? In your recent past, we have the Knight of Cups. I mean, he's a lovely, lovely knight. Wears his heart on his sleeve. Look, he's carrying that cup. That's wearing his heart on his sleeve. He's open to love anyone, and everybody does love him. I mean, I suppose to a certain degree that means he's prone to cheating. I don't think it's a malicious thing. I think he just loves everyone and he can't help himself. But it does make him something of a fool for love, and it does mean that maybe he gets exploited. Yeah, I think he gets exploited in love. So has he fallen in love with somebody who wants to take all, which would suggest to me a narcissist? I think maybe he has, you know. I think maybe he has. I think maybe that's what we should read into it. I mean, you look at the card, he's holding the cup out. He's got that wonderful heart horse. You know, you can't help but admire him. He's the sort of person when he walks in a room, all the heads turn. And now we have the King of Cups. So it's a great thing to have gone from a knight to a king. It shows increasing maturity. And the King of Cups is somebody who's much more emotionally stable. He has emotional maturity. He understands his emotions and those of others. I mean, I think like the knight, he is prone to fall in love with the wrong people. He is prone, much less so, to be exploited in love. I mean, you look at him, he's a loving person, isn't he? He's got his cup out in his hand again, he's on that wonderful throne, he's dressed beautifully, but what the hell is he doing in the water, eh? What on earth is he in the water for? Well, we'll see as the cards go on, but I think this is a realisation that you've fallen for the wrong person, but maybe not knowing what to do. Now, justice is coming. Justice is coming for you, Virgo. I suspect this is karmic justice. I mean, it could be actual real justice, in a court of law, but I suspect it's karmic justice. And I suspect it's related to the actions of this win at all cost. So therefore, I suspect that it's justice coming in your favour. In other words, the person who I think's the narcissist that exploited you is going to get their comeuppance. That's what I think. I mean, it could be justice against you. It could be something completely different. Whatever it is, it'll be firm but fair. And you've nothing to worry about if you're honest with yourself and with others. You look at the card, she has a kriss in her hand. And krisses were used for executions. They put a wad of cotton on the shoulder blade and then plunge the kriss through the cotton and through the heart. I believe death was almost instantaneous. Now, I don't think the justice means either you or the perpetrator will be killed. But justice is coming. And the card leading to the outcome is the Devil card. That's an unhealthy attachment. Now, I really do feel that what it's pointing to, is that you have fallen for a narcissist. You're beginning to realise that that's what's happened, and you're beginning to understand that there's something wrong. You're possibly even trying to compete with them, but there's a codependency here. There's a codependency. You think you can beat them when the only thing that you can really do is move away from them, have no contact, but you're staying with them. You're staying with them because of, despite it not being pleasant, there's a familiarity that you're used to. And you can't get away from that familiarity, unfortunately. You look at the card, well, they've got those collars around their necks. Those collars are attached to the rock, and on that rock sits the devil. But I think they could quite easily take those collars off. So it's your own psychology that's tying you to this. You don't need to be there. You don't need to stay with them. But I've been in this situation, and I did for 20 years. 20 years of absolute abuse, This is what happens. This is what... few people stick around for 20 years, but, people do. People do. So I do understand. And what would change the outcome is the Hierophant card, which is the card of religion, or I'm pretty certain it's religion. I'm pretty certain it's formal religion in this case. So if you could embrace religion, you would probably see a way out of this position much quicker. The only way to deal with a narcissist is no contact, but maybe throwing yourself into religion would help you to have no contact, yes. That probably is what it is. You look at the card, it's ecumenical, but these cards do tend to be. They're clearly learning from a guru, aren't they? So it's formalised. You're learning from people. You're learning how to deal with it. I'm increasingly coming to believe, and of course I'm seeing it through my eyes as a Muslim, but there's so much in religion that does tell us about psychology, particularly about narcissists and what their role is on this earth. I mean, I've come to see that we're all playing roles, and that narcissism is just a role. And the outcome is the Nine of Cups. Ah, yes, yeah. So we had the Justice card, and I said I don't know if it's for or against you. I'm sure it's for you. I think it's karmic justice. I mean, it might be through a court of law, but you're going to be blessed. You're going to be blessed with material things, with money, but you're going to end up by yourself. And that is the best thing to do if you've come into the clutches of a narcissist. As I say, no contact is the best thing. So it's a good thing if you are by yourself, at least for now. You look at the card. He's dressed very finely. He's got those 9 cups up there. But as I say, he's all on his own. Now, what I think I need to do is just clarify that I've got this reading correct, but it is all pointing to this being a correct interpretation. So I'm going to seek clarity on this Devil card, this attachment. Am I right? Looks as though I am, because the first card is 10 of Cups. Wonderful, sort of happy families. Wonderful love, maybe not families, but certainly love, with many blessings. So I just wonder if you're also attached to the wealth, to the money that this relationship brought to you. The second card is the Queen of Pentacles. I call her the single mother card. So I wonder if there is a family. I wonder if you do have family with this person, and if you break up, then you're left without a family. And then the final one is the Two of Cups, which is a new love. I don't think this is you. I think this is them. I think they've played around. Yeah, let's look at each individually. Now the first card is this 10 of Cups. Loads of blessings, but especially love. Now, I think this is confirming that they're a narcissist. They've love-bombed you. They've showered you with gifts. You're probably used to the security of the money that it brings to them, that this relationship brings to you. And love-bombing is typical of the early stages of a relationship with a narcissist. And you're thinking to yourself, if only I could go back to how it was then. And you can't. Unfortunately, you're attached to them, and no contact is all you can do. I mean, you look at the card, they seem so much in love, the cups above them, they're so blessed, it seems so wonderful. And these are the early stages of a relationship with a narcissist. And you just wish you could turn the clock back and get back to that. But it was all a tactic, it was never real. And we now have the Queen of Pentacles, which I call the single mother card. I mean, you don't have to have family, you don't have to be female, but that's the energy. So it is suggesting to me that you probably have had children with this person. And that's what this codependency is. And, you know, my case, you're probably saying, why the hell did I stay in an abusive relationship for 20 years? Well, she at least claimed that she'd had a child by me. I have some doubts about it, and we'll come to that in the next card. You know, I didn't want to break up the family. I should have, because it's not worked out for the best. I'm no longer in contact with the person who she claimed was my son. He ended up schizophrenic. So it ended up terribly, even though I tried to do the right thing. And I think you're trying to do the right thing because you have this codependency, but it's not going to work out. Yeah, sorry to tell you. Sorry to tell you this, Virgo. We now have the Two of Cups, which suggests to me a new and divine love. I mean, it could be just referring back to the love bombing, but I don't think it is. It could be that you find a new and divine love, because that's what happened to me, and in doing so it gave me the courage, the motivation to move away from this abusive relationship. But I suspect that it's them who find a new love. Mind you, it wouldn't be divine. Maybe it is you, maybe you do. But it doesn't square with the outcome. So it could be them playing around, and that's the reason why I don't believe that my son was my own. Evidence has come to the fore. To be honest, it was always there. I just rejected it. I just rejected the evidence. But evidence has come to the fore, which suggests that she wasn't faithful to me, and therefore maybe my son isn't really my son. And you know, a narcissist will play around. They will. Yeah, it's quite sad, this reading. I'm sorry, Virgo. So let us summarise for you, Virgo. It's a sad reading, I have to say. You're something of a fool for love. You're something for a fool for love. And you get love bombed and fall for a narcissist. And you're a victim of narcissistic abuse. And you're slowly getting to realise that there's something wrong with this relationship. But there's a codependency there. You want to turn the clock back to the time of love bombing, but that will never happen because it was false. And you have this codependency. I think to a certain degree you're used to the money that they brought. You know, you're used to that lifestyle. But I also believe that you've probably got a child or children with this person, and you find it impossible to break things off, but that's what you've got to do. You might find the courage from you finding someone else, but I think it's actually them who are playing around with you. Where I do think you find solace is through religion. I think if you can throw yourself into religion, you will find a way out of this. What I can say to you is justice is coming. Justice is coming to them. They will get their just desert. I think it's karmic. I mean, it could be legal, but I think it's karmic. But what it's going to leave you with, you're going to end up blessed. See, I wouldn't worry about the money. I wouldn't worry about your situation. But you're probably going to end up all alone. That could mean that, like me, you end up losing who you believe to be your child as a result of this. But unfortunately, the only answer when you're in a relationship with a narcissist is walk away and have no contact.
Well, I do hope you've enjoyed Tarot from Java as an addition to my channel, The Magic of Java. Please take a look at the other videos that I have on this channel about magic from Java, and I hope that you will become a subscriber. Now, if you want to hear your next tarot reading, hit the button, and that will inform you of when I publish new readings. I'm certainly going to do a reading for every month, but maybe I will try them a bit more frequently, say a mid-month reading, and maybe also some special readings. But above all, thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you, and enjoy Java.